The English dogs are at the walls. However, the brave Scottish will fight for glory, they'll fight for freedom, and they'll fight for Scotland. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome back to another Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD siege battle. We are back in medieval times, and I cannot wait to go ahead and see how this battle turns out. However, the Scots are on a bit of a holiday. They are defending this eastern settlement, which again looks amazing. Such a cool settlement because you have obviously this outer layer out here, and then you have these two bridges going into the kind of the capture point and the final defense. So it's a really exciting map. The defense can also be assaulted from this side, so you can actually already start getting on that inner layer right away. However, no players have decided to start moving siege equipment over there. We are going to be getting a pretty straightforward siege as the English throw themselves forward. As well as that, we do have a absolute ton of soldiers on the battlefield. We have over 15,000 men, I think 15,500 men, so it should be absolutely crazy. We have 3 Scottish armies defending, and they're going to be in all manner of soldiers. A lot of archers who have been situated down here on the ground level, ready to hit the infantry as the English come off of their siege towers and onto the walls. We have a lot of these Highlanders as well, who look really cool indeed. I'm not sure if Scotland's recently been added, because when I used to play, I didn't actually have any assets in for them, but I guess they are starting to get some more added in as the mod gets more and more progressive. We also go ahead and have some more of these Scottish longbowmen as well. And then we'll also see kind of the Scottish Knights. Obviously, this is going to be their main hard-hitting infantry. Is definitely going to be the Axes. The Axes are going to do some serious damage. We obviously also have some more Sergeants up here as well. Yeah, it looks like a lot of the Scottish roster is obviously still very much a work in progress. We do have a handful of semi-looking generic units, and then just we have a lot of Scottish units just with this kind of like band over them. And you're like, oh yeah, they're Scottish. We also have some dismounted knights back there. Also, then for the English, again, they've got a lot of their heavier infantry pushing up these siege towers, a lot of sergeants of the high period, so equipped with some of the best armor, best weaponry, throwing themselves forward. We have kind of a handful of contingents here, some of the English foot knights, we got some English longbows back there, and then obviously the dismounted knights throwing their way forward. And then all the way in the back, we do actually have, by the looks of it, the English king all the way back here, looking great in that red. And again, this cavalry can do some crazy ass damage when they actually get themselves inside the settlement, if they can just get an open avenue where they can charge down. And that's going to basically make up a lot of the English armies as well. We see some defenses being kind of mainly situated around here. You guys can see that we've got the stone right there, which is going to be slowing up these siege towers, and then also any reinforcing soldiers. And we also have these traps as well, which are going to be doing some decent damage. Oh, and a handful of these siege towers have now been set ablaze, which is pretty good. Unfortunately, it's not going to be doing any crazy damage to the soldiers inside, I believe. Yeah, they only lose a handful of men. That's going to be slowing them up a little bit, which isn't too bad. And surprising to see, we actually have no artillery being brought on this battlefield, right? Yeah, no, I tell a lie, we do have a trebuchet. This trebuchet is going to be pretty valuable. I wouldn't be surprised if we did see them trying to make a breach. They could also just try and hold this artillery piece off and wait until they get to the inner layers and then really attempt to push their way in and assault the enemy position. Over on this left-hand side, we are now seeing the English making their way onto the walls. Luckily, they're not receiving too much. However, we are getting this unit of dismounted Hospitaller Knights fighting for the Scottish. The Reformation has truly happened earlier, and now they are fighting bravely on. Yeah, a lot of infantry now jumping down and engaging against the English. But the first fight has now kicked itself off on the wall. But the Scottish are taking their pound of flesh here. This is definitely the correct unit you want to be using to defend these walls. A really effective unit. And I guess what they've done is they've made a lot of these factions, just everybody have access to the Hospitallers, Knights Templar in some way or another. Which is a nice little boost for a lot of factions who don't necessarily have as much quality in their army as they would like. You know, it kind of fills a lot of the roles of factions who don't necessarily have as heavily armored shock infantry. But yeah, right now the English are just kind of scattering the walls, engaging some of the Highlanders underneath this tower as they do now engage. But I mean, for the most part, what are the stats like on these Highlanders? I'm kind of a bit curious there. Let's take a little look-see at these. So the Highlanders have 30-28. Yeah, I mean, they're severely outmatched here by the sergeants. I take that back. They're actually not that much outmatched. The sergeants have 30-33. The Highlanders, honestly, not that much behind them. The main thing is going to come in that probably that morale and also that army. They have literally no armor on. Whereas the sergeants, the dismounted foot knights, have, yeah, much higher armor. 55 on these guys compared to like the 5 that we were just looking at. But melee attack and melee defense stats are still pretty decent, which is going to be a big help for them. But right now, there are just too many siege towers. You can see the English are truly just overrunning these walls. But again, this is not obviously going to be the main fighting point for them. The Scottish want to put up some resistance on these walls, and they are doing that. They've got some pretty good soldiers up here. A lot of their shock infantry will find themselves very well placed up here. But I imagine the main defense will come later on in the battle as they get further and further back inside of the settlement. I also love the weapons on a lot of these English knights. Them huge old like Falco swords look amazing. Of course, as well, we do have the Rise of Mordor. We have the medieval soundtrack in the background as well. I've been listening to too much of the Rise of Mordor soundtrack. Very awesome as it is. More reinforcements are being committed up. So if we take a nice little bird's eye view of the battlefield, we can see exactly where the assault has gone on. It seems like for whatever reason, I'm not sure if the stones are just closing them up, like slowing them up. Maybe no. Or maybe it was the stones. Yeah, the stones are making these towers like kind of come to this battlefield a lot late. It's a nice kind of placement there. Yeah, it seems like these siege towers are taking forever. They're going at a snail's pace right now. And they really need these assaults to all be happening at once. Like, this was a nice little diversion. And it's giving these guys some extra time to rest, giving them some more time to, like, commit soldiers where they need to. A lot of the English bowmen, though, are volleying over. We've got some retinue of bowmen here, volleying over the settlement. I imagine being given commands from the soldiers on the walls. They're like, they're over here! Fire over here! And then the English longbows do rip their volleys. I've mentioned this in a few battles as well, but I would love to see a like supply wagon unit in the game that like just replenishes archers, because it is possible, because we've seen it in Rise of Mordor had a special defensive siege barrel where you could replenish ammunition. And I think it'd be really cool to have something, you know, like you have for the Italians have that like the Pope seat where they push around the cross, the Holy Cross. I think you could do something like that with like a supply wagon and allow you to like resupply your archers. And like, maybe they have like free resupplies that happen every like 2 minutes or something. I think that could be really cool, especially in like defensive and offensive siege battles. Because again, it has its negatives and it has its positives. Obviously, you can make it expensive. But I think the biggest thing would be that it would take up a unit slot, you know? In these battles where every soldier matters, taking up a unit slot is actually pretty deadly. We have the English late Pavese spearmen here getting hammered, or should I say axed, by the Scottish shock infantry. Yeah, they are perfectly poised to break the heavy armor that the English are deploying to this battlefield. It's a really nice placement here by the Scottish player. Able to kind of, you know, match up their units. And again, that's half the battle. In a lot of these online battles, it's all about matching up the right units to fight the right units, you know. And as for defenders, you kind of have that advantage. How well are the... Because I've never seen the Scottish Highlanders fight. I'm just very interested to see exactly how they're performing in this battle. So 17 kills to 44. So they are losing this battle, but not like tremendously. As the trebuchet comes in, are they trying to like maybe destroy this part of the wall? You need to be a little bit careful, obviously, not to overrun and destroy a unit, a position that's already being assaulted. Again, we have the Knights of St. John here. Are they just more hospitallers? Sorry. Fighting against the English. You can see them weapons. Some of the finest medieval armor and weaponry colliding down against one another. Love all the coat of arms on the English as well. It's always good to see. so far, the Hospitallers are holding their own and pushing back the enemy quite nicely. The English are making as mincemeat. You know, if they would have got this unit against the Highlanders, the dismounted English knights would have ripped them apart. So again, nice unit matchup here. The English are also assaulting over on this side, and it's a really nice move to send some siege towers over here. You really want to be stretching the defenders just as much as you can. And the English are doing a great job of that, able to really kind of, you know, make the Scottish have to defend every single part of this wall. But they are fighting with ferocity, and they're not giving up these walls whatsoever without a clean battle. I assume this part of the wall was actually kind of useless, though, because there's no streets inwards. And obviously, as you can see, the Scottish are deploying a large amount of their force actually inside the settlement. Oh, we had some cavalry coming in now. Very nice move. Another Hospitaller unit from the Scottish coming in and absolutely just flattening this unit of English sergeants. Again, you know, cavalry can be so useful in a siege battle if used correctly and timed. And this is a perfect time to hit them before the English can really get a foothold down on the ground level. Throwing in this cavalry has been extremely valuable. We've been able to actually break their unit of English sergeants, you know, which was not a cheap unit. And now they're currently, I think, fleeing for their lives. They can pretty much completely do that. Continue just to cut them down. Let the cavalry continue to move in. So very nice move right there. What really needs to happen is the English need to try and get their longbows up on this wall so they can fire down and prevent stuff like that from happening. Right now, they are focusing on killing the more lightly armored Scottish longbows. I imagine the English do have that range as well on their weaponry. But finally, oh my god, not all of these siege towers have still made it up. This is a brutal. Let me tell you, the ladders have also got their way up. And yeah, obviously this is a fight where the axes from the Scottish aren't, you know, completely outmatched here. But the armor values for the dismounted English knights will be huge here. As that poor Scottish man drops to the ground along with his other fallen brothers. As the fighting does continue. Is there a gate along here as well? I was wondering. I was thinking about that. Like there is a gate all the way over here. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't tried to break this gate down, honestly. Or have they? I mean, there's a lot of traps right there. I guess I don't have a battering ram over on this side, which is really bad, honestly. Because opening up this gatehouse would be huge. Obviously, they can just take it. Like I guess maybe their plan was to take the walls and then push through, but even still, it's so valuable to take this gatehouse and just put pressure on it because it means the defenders have to commit a unit there. That's one less unit on the walls. Speaking of which, it seems like the Scottish have fought bravely on these, and they've managed to completely secure that left-hand side. The English are now no longer able to commit any men over on that side. The right-hand side is under a lot more pressure as the English do flood the streets with men. And this right-hand side is also starting to break now. Just not enough men over here. And I think we're seeing a lot of the Scottish starting to fall back into the inner layer. Like cavalry getting out of there. But I mean, honestly, I was not expecting the Scottish to do this well. As the fighting does continue on the walls. Very impressed by their tenacity. And I think them Hospitaller Knights have really helped out. Supporting them extra cavalry. And now they can actually start to bring some of the other soldiers. Oh my god, one soldier just got killed by a ghost. They can start to bring more of these soldiers around just to reinforce. Gonna plump up their defense. Just really try and punish the English. And I always love it. I always love it when players do defend the walls. You know, a lot of the time it does make sense to give the walls up, but it is always much funner to fight for them. I think it makes for a much more enjoyable battle. Oh, brutal. Yeah, and with the reinforcement there of the Knights Hospitaller, able to actually put a lot more pressure on. I don't know where this artillery rounds are like coming in. Like, I don't really know why they're firing this artillery now. Feels like a little bit of a waste considering the walls are pretty taken. Are you guys ready to see all of these English foot knights die as this tower gets taken? Hopefully they can escape before it happens. Because this is Total War Attila. And when these towers are taken, it kills everybody. So this unit's on 155. You guys ready? I'm so sorry, boys. Everyone run. It's about to be taken, and all these soldiers are about to die. Yep, it's so stupid. My God. Yep, that's just, I don't know, like 10% of your money down the drain, 5% of your money down the drain. We lost 40 men from that unit. And sometimes you can lose the entire unit just because they captured the tower. I can always understand why they like made that design decision, like, or why they thought it would be a good idea. Because, you know, it's like, oh, cool, you've taken the tower, you've knocked it out, you've destroyed it. It's really cool, there's a big explosion. But did no one play that mechanic and realize, oh, I'm losing an entire unit to a tower blowing up? Because it's not just because it's one tower, you know, if you take an entire wall, that's like 4, 5, 6 towers. As well as that as well, I'm pretty sure, unless this is like a custom map, I'm pretty sure they can no longer use this this passageway either anymore because of that. Man, it is literally just like, how did that ever make it through QA when they were designing this game? Like, seriously. So it seems like there are only a handful of the Scottish forces left remaining with the armies on the left-hand side. A couple archers. Oh, a nice little cavalry charge here as the Scottish knights make their way in. A counter charge there by the Pavis. I don't know why they did that. You want to be braced. Especially as a spear wall, they would have done much better. But unfortunately, counter charging is going to see you up on your ass as the Knights Hospitaller come in as well to help out. Again, ripping through them. Yeah, you never want to be counter-charging with infantry against heavy knights unless they're already pinned down. Obviously now the spearmen will be able to do some decent damage, and as when this unit tries to pull out, they'll also be able to pick off a few of them. And I think actually a handful of them are going to be getting stuck in here just due to the fact that the other Scottish unit charged in. So unfortunately a few more casualties there, but still looking pretty good. Nothing too bad whatsoever. These towers as well will also be racking up a handful of kills just randomly. But we do now finally have some more infantry being thrown up. So taking over his gatehouse is going to be pretty important now. Something they need to actually focus on. Because then they can also get their cavalry inside. You know, there's a unit of English knights here of a high period. So one of the really kind of strong units the English do have available to them. So getting them inside the settlement early is going to be really good. But I think for now, we basically just have this last little engagement right there, and then the walls have been taken, and then the English will have to push on. It'll be interesting to see if the Scottish do decide to try and hold these two choke points, or if they're going to really kind of sit back, let the English come over, and then engage them, because they have obviously the height advantage. We have some of the Scottish pikes here, some more cavalry back here as well, the Lord's bodyguard sitting back there along with some more infantry. So it'll be very interesting to see if they try and defend them bridges, or if they kind of let the English come in a little bit more and then push on. Got some more cavalry kind of circling around. Numbers wise as well, just some of the English took a pounding, losing. They still kind of hold their advantage. Actually, they've extended their advantage to over 1,000 men now. Pretty impressive. So the Scottish taking some serious casualties. But I think mainly the English only have like really this army, which is as intact as they would like. Another cavalry charge coming in. Does seem like the English longbowmen are now on the walls now. This is great. This is exactly what you want to have happen. Okay, it just warns off this cavalry. The cavalry can still charge you, but they end up taking so much more damage as they do. However, we have some cavalry pushing around here, and we got a perfect target in the form of these dismounted foot knights. The Pavis are going to try and get down here in time, but it's not going to be good. And oh, a beautiful charge there. The knights able to rip through. We also have some Knights Templar here, along with the Scottish cavalry. Yeah, there is a lot of horse here, and that's just going to decimate these units. Yeah, moving down, undefended. It's going to end badly, and the Scottish realizing that and pushing in and dealing with that. The longbowmen need to get up here. They need to get the cavalry inside. They need to take this gatehouse. If they can take that gatehouse, then this cavalry can just make its way in and warn all of this off. Right now, though, The Knights of the Hospitallers up to 200 kills now. Really impressive. Knights Templar almost up to 100 as well. And as the English just come down this tower, Cavalry is having a field day, cutting through them like butter. Pretty nice stuff. And I mean, the Scots are still fighting up here. We have one of the Scottish units along with the Knights Hospitaller. How many kills are they on right now? 182 on that unit and 167 on the other. Definitely the MVPs so far. As you see, the fighting continues. And until they can really clear these out, you know, it's still going to be hard. If these Scottish units weren't fighting as bravely, if they just managed to break another unit of the English, if they weren't fighting as bravely, then they would have maybe opened this gatehouse. And yeah, the Scots are not down. That's going to definitely help out numbers-wise. Yeah, that's definitely brought that advantage back down. Because there's 2 fresh units of the English just killed for free, pretty much. We do still have some heavy billmen and some archers left in reserve here. We've actually got some Welsh longbowmen here as well. Awesome. So the whole of Britain is pretty much being represented here. We just now need Northern Ireland. Some of the amazing looking units of Medieval Kingdoms 1212. Beautiful looking mod. I really also need to give the campaign another run out as well. I haven't played the campaign in a long time. Oh, it does also seem like we have some English being pushed up here. But again, I think the cavalry is just being used to such great effect. And just hammering these units who aren't braced, who aren't formed up. And the English are coming in piecemeal. And it's proving that this is not a good way of doing it. The English should just take 5 minutes, get their army inside the settlement, get their cavalry inside the settlement, set up their archers, and then push in. Right now, they're being picked apart by the cavalry, which is just so brutal. We also have this unit of, oh, is this like a skirmisher cavalry? Yeah, it is as well. Nice, like a skirmisher javelin unit. That's pretty cool. The English have formed up here, but taking another volley. I think they are in shield wall, so their missile block chance is now up to 50, which is pretty good. Nothing too crazy, though. Another cavalry charge coming in. And you'll see how, like, look how less effective that is. It still does some decent damage. But the English won't actually lose that many men. And they'll kill a ton of horses as they pull out. Actually, not as many horses as I thought. Maybe 3 or 4. But I think the English lost, like, 2 men there. So really not bad. And as soon as they get their archers up here, you got 3 units of Welsh longbowmen being brought up. They'll be able to start counter-firing this cavalry and really dealing with that. Does seem like the Scots might be trying to get some archers up here. Again, not a bad move. Getting some archers like up on this wall right here to then fire down, give them that height advantage. Could be a really good idea. The English could also try to do the same though, and then fire down on these guys. My left hand's, oh my god, I can't believe that gatehouse has still not been taken. The Knights Hospitaller just ripping them apart. 250 kills, that's crazy. They need to take this. Look at this, the cavalry's just waiting. They need to take this tower. Like, so badly. And now we've got some more infantry being pushed up. The cavalry is just running amok right now. And, yeah, I mean, this is literally could determine the battle. This cavalry has got far too many kills. Unless these English have formed shield wall, but they're not braced. There you go, braced. Thank God for that. And that scared off the majority of them. However, the cavalry find their way through once again, ripping into the back of these dismounted knights. Again, luckily they were braced. They were about to be sandwiched. A holy order sandwich right here. Hospitallers from one side, Knights Templar from the other. Brutal stuff indeed. Yeah, this cavalry has definitely paid for itself. Valuable mercenaries right there. And all this time as well, the towers are still shooting as well. And this is why just having a battering ram is never a bad idea. Oh, we got a big push here by the reserves. I guess it's going to go up here, maybe? Because the gatehouse is taking so long to go down. I still don't think they're going to be able to take it. This cavalry's coming in for another charge. This is just disgusting. Just get your archers up here, man. Volley in on them. I guess they couldn't because I'm pretty sure the Scots that are up defending up there have only just broken now. I'm pretty sure this is them running right now. Yeah, it's literally them running right now. So I don't even have the chance, but these archers need to move over. So these archers would decimate the cavalry. But it just goes to show you always want to bring a battering ram. Because even if you lost men due to the burning oil, it'd be worth it to stop this from happening. This cavalry is literally taken out like plus 1,000 men, and it has been brutal. But it's hard to deal with. It is hard to deal with, especially in these battles where things might be a bit laggy as well. Sometimes it's just, you know, like it takes you off guard. You may think the lag actually gives you more time, but it really doesn't. Because you're so hyper-focused on a lot of the other things that are happening in the battle. And yeah, that's brutal. That really, really is. It takes you a lot longer to like respond to them things. The English have now pushed up now, and they are pushing. There's a bridge in the east side, but are being hammered. Oh, so that's one of the strengths of the Highlanders. Okay, so the Highlanders have javelins. So that's why they have such crappy armor, is because they throw a couple volleys of javelins, which will whittle down heavily armored units, and they're really well placed right now. Definitely impressed with how the Scots have defended this. And also, they still have them towers firing as well, which, you know, might not sound like a lot, but if they take out a man every, like, 10 seconds, that adds up. That really does. These javelin and bowmen in a great position. Yeah, they really need to put pressure on this left-hand side as best as they can. This is also a great position as well to get your archers. You can get your archers, like, here, and they can fire the entirety away. I also believe as well the English longbowmen will probably definitely outrange the Scottish longbowmen. Let's have a look. So the Scottish have 140 range. The English, oh no, they have the same, but the mercenary Welsh longbows have the same. They've finally taken the Gatehouse. My God, they've finally taken the Gatehouse. Probably lost hundreds of men. Yeah, this unit, this English foot knight unit is now down to hardly anything. Are they going to run into the caltrops as well? Oh no, they're losing men. No, oh my God. Oh, they're losing so many horses. Oh, this has just gone from bad to worse. Like, look how many of the knights are being lost as they try and pour their way inside the settlement. Oh my God, I'm cringing inside. Oh my God, that is deadly. So they really needed to send up an infantry unit to clear them out, because if you alt click on the caltrops, you actually end up destroying them. Your soldiers just go and like cut them down. And they're lucky they didn't lose their general there either. But finally, the cavalry is now inside the settlement. Oh, another beautiful charge. But I mean, yeah. I mean, they're going to be able to put a stop to this horse now. But I mean, they've already done their damage. 92 kills on that one. 460 kills on this one. And they're going to come in and just try and do as much as physically possible before the English knights can put them down. As they are out for blood here, chasing down the Scots. I mean, honestly, the Scots might be able to pull their way through them and hit into the back of these guys. I think that's what they might be trying to do. Yeah, they've managed to sandwich them now. But yeah, so many kills, and actually using every bit of the street to their advantage. But I think that is it now. The cavalry will be dealt with. They've definitely paid for themselves, that is for sure. I mean, as well as that, the English knights could try to be a little bit cheeky. Oh, there's a barricade here. Okay, that's why they're set up like this. I was going to say they could try and like sneak their way around. I mean, this is definitely the place they want to attack. Down here and just go through there. Have like a holding unit. Like defend that and then just break through this street, because this gives you so many options. Obviously, the Scottish will send more men here. But if you can break through there, then that'd be huge. Some more English or some Welsh longbowmen volleying over here, trying to deal with the Scots who have set themselves up on that hill. Or a wall. Looking to, yeah, get as much damage as possible. Because they still have plenty of ammunition left, and more infantry get lobbed into the meat grinder. Thrown forward. This, you know, eternal ebb and flow. And obviously they will win. You know, they are more heavily armored. They have better melee stats. Not by tons, but they still have more. And they're going to break their way through. But again, it's all the supporting units that the Scots do have. And it's actually really impressive to see the Scottish players. I think they're doing a very good defense so far. Able to utilize that cavalry. Oh, they've broken through. Nice. They need to swarm. They need to swarm up here as quickly as possible. I'm surprised these guys weren't sent in a little bit quicker. They need to basically make themselves a breachhead there. Get a line set up there, get a line set up here, and then push your way forward. However, the cavalry, the Scottish knights are now moving in once again. 200 kills on them. They're going to be looking to try and just charge in. Luckily, the English knights are fairly braced as some more men get pushed up. Like, this is the thing. The English just have that quality under their command. Once again, like, the more they push up, there are more death traps. You know, there's archers here, cavalry hammering them. The English knights are reinforcing, which is a good move. However, they're going to be the main focus point of all these Scottish longbowmen, who are now in just such a good position. And this is why it could have been a good idea to, like, hold off on a lot of your siege towers. Like, keep, like, 3 or 4 siege towers left alive for when you hit this layer, you know? Sending a siege tower, like, here and maybe sending one all the way back around is not the worst thing in the world. You can do it, like, here as well. It just really takes the enemy off guard. Sometimes if you don't support them enough, it can be kind of bad, but I think for the most part, it's never that, that awful. More of the Highlanders being brought up, and again, them javelins will find that armor-piercing value that they so desperately need against the English knights. However, a lot of arrows are now flying. Let your arrows fly, as Barb the Dragon Slayer would say, as the English knights just try and push their way through. However, seemingly, struggling. Shock infantry does great against cavalry once they've kind of absorbed that initial charge because of their higher armor-piercing values. You can see a lot of these knights are going down. It seems like they are trying to break forward and obviously get on. More shock infantry being thrown forward as well, which is honestly is great for the Scots. They really do want the English to clump up as many men as they can and obviously take advantage of that. The English have done a good job here, though. They've set up some archers the other side of the river, and they're just able to hit the Scots in the back. So a really nice move there. That's going to obviously leave them quite vulnerable. Yeah, and this is just an absolute mosh pit right now. The Scots obviously have perfect kind of, this is exactly where they put all their missiles. But they are starting to lack a bit of infantry on this side. I think they need to reinforce. Maybe send these 2 more units to help out. Push their way in there, maybe. Reinforce the position. Because once the English break through, it's going to be much harder to silence. And it's always better to send men ready to get committed. Because even now, they could have sent some men earlier and just held the English here. But obviously, delaying men, has allowed them to open up a larger front, meaning they can use more of their men. They're not as clumped up. However, again, this is a beautiful angle for the Scots. Get them javelins right into the side of the English. Yeah, that was very nice indeed. And I don't know how many javelins they actually do have access to. I imagine it's like 3 or 4. Every volley is going to be deadly. Yep, another one going in. Yeah, look at the dead right there. Another one on top of that. Getting a few friendly fires, but 100% worth it. These English are worth way more than the Scottish unit. And then finally the Catalan charge as the English charge forward, but under so much pressure. Able to finally get off into them. Very nice indeed. And more of the English reserves are now making their way in. They are also now pushing across this bed right there. A unit of these Scots longbowmen duking it out with the Welsh and the English across the bridge. They're going to push their way up and basically just get their infantry. There's also like a ton of cavalry back here as well. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that unit of archers being brought up to like here to fire into their sides. Probably what the Scots are planning. But again, the thing is, the English also need to not let up on this assault. They need to keep on pushing men forward. So as you can see right now, look at this. The Scots are broken. The English and able to get right into the English longbowmen. Luckily, these are fairly heavily armored archers. And one of the great things about 1212 is if you pay the extra money for more experienced, kind of a higher tier archers, you generally don't get better archers, but you get better morale. You get better fighting soldiers as well. A lot of the Eastern factions are a really good example of that because they get like Mamluk foot archers and stuff like that, which are basically just infantry but with a bow as well. Some more cavalry being brought up. But yeah, that was a nice counter charge right there by the Scots. Able to really get themselves stuck in. Nice stuff indeed. The English though, the English balance of power is looking really good for them. I guess the Scots are just slowly running out of men. But numbers-wise, the Scots have closed this back down to a pretty small gap. Only, 600 men in it right now? Considering the battle started with a 1,000-man advantage, swung heavily in favor of the English. And they are bringing it back. They really are. Again, might not be a bad idea to try and send out all this cavalry, just like all the way around, and then try and make your way inside the settlement again. Maybe try and snipe one of the English kings. You've got Edward here. Looking awesome. I mean, look at that. Beautiful armor. Beautiful detail. Really, really nice stuff. More cavalry and archer fire coming in. Hammering them. Actually, one of the English generals is up here as well. And yeah, boom. The Scottish have managed to retake this bridge. Which is always impressive when you can. Somehow there's a handful of English soldiers here taking this position, but finally broken. I mean, look at the bodies, though. They are piling up. They really are. Yeah, that's where all the javelins went in, man. That is brutal. That is super brutal. And a nice unit of Knights Hospitallers there. The main focus point of all the English archers now. They're going to be getting themselves stuck in. Probably allowing the English to get a little bit closer before they just charge in. Really nice stuff there. There you go. The Knights Hospitaller. Time to earn their keep. Let me know in the comments as well. I'd be really interested. So, were any of the other holy orders ever employed to fight in non-holy wars? Like, were they ever just like mercenaries for a war that necessarily wasn't about religion? I'd be very interested to see if they were just like kind of a mercenary force at any point in history, or if they just solely fought in holy wars. Because I mean, it's not like there was ever a lack of holy wars going on during these medieval periods. But yeah, let me know down below in the comments. Be very interested to find out. The English still have a handful of men there, and they kind of are using a lot of ammunition now. So again, the Scots are running pretty low on men, and the amount of arrow fire coming in is going to allow them to really break up. Obviously, as soon as that left-hand unit breaks, they can get some soldiers around and envelop the Knights Hospitaller, and then cause some issues. Oh, the English have also broken pretty heavily down here. That heavy billman unit taking obviously the main focus, but able to kind of warn off a lot of his cavalry. If they can honestly like block this section of the wall, that would not be a bad idea whatsoever. Or a charge going in here though by the Lord's bodyguard. But again, infantry that have been braced are going to be able to deal with that without taking many casualties whatsoever. Yeah, you can see them cutting down a lot of the units. And they're fighting pretty bravely over here. They've got a unit of their heavy halberds fighting the dismounted Knights of Scotland. Again, a great matchup. The halberds, live for battles like this where they can take on heavy infantry from the front. Because the billmen just, do such a good job at dealing with them. And they're also supported by heavy dismounted Knights as well with them big two-handers. So a really good matchup indeed. Yeah, they're going to be able to break through here quite nicely. And honestly, it might not be a bad idea just like set a unit of whatever heavy billmen you have left. Just like sit them here and just like warn off all this cavalry. But I assume this cavalry's hidden, ready to pounce when they need to. English on the right-hand side have pretty much completely cleared this section now. And I think we'll start to see the Scots completely retreating now. Yeah, trying to get themselves back inside for their final stand. This is brutal right now. And the English can now push forward. So the English still have decent ammunition on a handful of these back units and fresh ones right there. And the Scots are just fully falling back, but they're going to struggle to do so as the English Knights are in hot pursuit. They're going to block off and just prevent anything from getting back here. And the kill differentiation right now is 800 man advantage. So the English are looking pretty good as they continue to push further and further forward. Obviously, dealing with these archers, though, is going to be a pain in the arse. They just need to get themselves up there as volley after volley as the Scots try and take down as many casualties as they can. They're going to lose this battle. They'll make sure they're met in the afterlife by many of the English. Another volley about to be let loose. Is that burning oil as well? I'm not sure if that was burning oil or what going down. Obviously, the English are going to be trying to maybe just try and take this flag point, maybe? Yeah, I mean, right now, they're not actually capturing it, so they need more bodies in the cap. And some of the Scots are going to come down and try and challenge that. I guess just disrupting them is going to be a good idea. just take some more of these victory points, because these victory points do actually give you a bit of a morale bonus. It's not a huge one, but it gives you a battle-wide morale bonus for more of these you hold. So obviously, changing hands is always going to be a good idea. And then it's going to be up to the English, obviously, just to take these towers. Oh, no, the English general has gone down? Oh, yep, exactly what I said happened. They sent out some of their nice Templars. Is this one of the ones from the beginning? No, this is one of the fresh units. They also have a unit of trebuchets they've brought inside the settlement as well. That is hilarious. These trebuchets, don't know how they managed to fit through the gatehouse, but they did manage to. And they're going to bring them up for this final assault. I think the English have plenty of ammo left now as well. Plenty of ammo to try and take down these pikes. So many of the bowmen now. That's going to be their sole focus is going to be just killing these pikes, giving the English that little bit of an easier time to break through. But yeah, look at that. The volleys coming in, just doing so much damage with numbers dropping. I just do not think the Scots have enough men left to really hold this. They still have plenty of ammunition left on some of their archers. They just need to be expending it, right? And yeah, look at that. It's just so much missile fire left remaining right now. Now they're just killing these pikes, which is going to make it easy pickings for them, the infantry, to come in. Some more cavalry covering the way as the Scots come out. For one last charge, the charge of a light brigade. Actually able to get in on the archers. A nice little counter charge there. But unfortunately, the English number too many at this point. Oh yeah, all of this cavalry also came out. Okay. That's what initiated. All of this cavalry also reinforced and again got good charges off. And the Scots have definitely used their cavalry. They do actually have probably a bit too much cavalry, honestly, in this battle. But they've used it very effectively. I just straight up skirmishing away. Some more of the English sergeants been thrown forward here, supported by the missile fire. They'll have enough to break through here. As now we now have a unit of the English foot knights. Now being brought in, ready to meet their enemies in battle. Past all this eastern terrain as well, which is always a bit funny. Come on, let's get out of the animal statue and into the battle. Beautiful stuff indeed. Scottish unit can't be, it's just pulling back right now, which makes sense. Trying to drag the English further forward. I mean, this cavalry has done a great job again. 130 kills, not bad. I mean, the English still have just all these bows left remaining, though. They're going to be able to, break that cavalry, hammer down this last pike unit. There's some more cavalry scattered around here as well as the English just rip them apart off that charge. I imagine they'll do exactly the same to this unit as well. Or maybe it will be able to get a good charge off. Yeah, no, then they go after the foot knights as well, breaking that. I mean, the Scots are still fighting and able to get another great charge off onto some more archers. And again, these mercenary Welsh longbowmen still have plenty of ammo left. However, the cavalry is going to get hammered now. Lots more infantry are pouring through. English cavalry able to kind of sandwich, the lighter Scottish cav. As more and more infantry get thrown forward as well. You can see them just overrunning this position. And the Highlanders just don't have the quality. We do have a unit of the dismounted Hospitallers, though, charging in. Again, this will be a pretty good charge right into the side of the English, followed by an archer volley to soften up the English. That's going to rack up a handful of kills there. And I think the English are very much reforming now as well. See, a handful of them are actually knocked down. A few arrows in the back as well. The cavalry are going to come in now and obviously support that assault. Only 2 minutes left. The enemy general is down here, killing archers again. The English are not doing a great job at defending their units. And honestly, they haven't really done a good job at defending their units all battle, if I'm being completely honest. That kind of initial assault was brutal, losing the general outside of the walls. But they've been able to push in, and I think that's going to see them off. However, more cavalry coming in. This is a very nice Scottish cavalry unit here. Really nice Scottish cavalry unit. Very bright and beautiful. And they're going to finish that off. And the numbers will dwindle, and I think we'll just get a big mass rout. There's only really archers left. The English cavalry can also get in. We got the King's Bodyguard moving in there. Some fresh units and just so much cavalry. left remaining. However, Scots are sallying out. Just trying to do as much damage as possible. I think this battle's going to look a lot worse, but then again, there's still a 1,000-man advantage. And there you go. Just a huge mass rout down here as soon as the Scottish general broke. And I think as soon as this Scottish general goes, it's going to be over. The English foot knights able just to rip apart the Scots. They're like punching? Yeah, I think they're supposed to have a weapon. Maybe I'm missing a weapon pack or something. Just straight up throwing hands like Rock Lee up in this place. There you go. A Pyrrhic victory for the English, but you know, I would say a pretty solid victory in the end. Considering it's a siege battle, you always expect. And the Scottish played very well. I don't know what more they could do really in that battle to hold the line. Because they played very well, using the units they had available to them very, very effectively. Again, I mean, we take a look at the cavalry kills. 500 kills. Maybe just invested a bit too much in this cavalry. Honestly, I think they could have taken a few less horses and maybe stockpiled some more infantry. And that could have, you know, given them that edge. The battle was very close. Maybe some more archers. Because all the archers did do pretty well right up there. And then obviously you guys can see the English kills as well if you're interested in them. All pretty standard though. The longbowmen doing exceptionally well. If you guys enjoy this, make sure you drop a like and a comment down below. Let me know if you want to see more Medieval Kingdoms 1212 on the channel. It'd be really awesome actually if I got any kind of like scenario battles sent in as well. I'm always looking for them like we had with Rise of Mordor recently. We have that epic march on Gundabad. If anyone's who's got a good kind of group together for 1212 want to create, you know, like 3 or 4 scenario battles where each battle leads on to the next and they have like, you know, diverting courses and losses matter for the armies and affect the next battle. Something like that would be amazing for 1212. You could even obviously do like a historical campaign and see if history changes. So if there's anyone out there who you know loves 1212 and plays it and has a good group of guys who yeah, can definitely do that cinematic slash you know, kind of serious battle gameplay, you know, consider maybe doing that, sending in some replays. I would love to cover that. So yeah, obviously if you guys have any good replays, send them into me over on my Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next one.